Katie Simpson is in Pittsburgh tonight. And Katie, give us a sense of just how important Pennsylvania is right now.
The current president, Joe Biden, and two former presidents, Donald Trump and Barack Obama, all campaigned in this state over the weekend. To give you a sense of just how close this race is, control of the U.S. Senate is on the line, but something potentially even more important than that looms over this vote. It's a frantic final sprint in a key race to control the U.S. Senate. Democrat John Fetterman's slight lead over Republican TV personality Dr. Mehmet Oz continues to narrow.
Thank you.
And while Fetterman's supporters are enthusiastic, they're also nervous.
I will be the 51st vote in D.C.
The result of this contest and others in this midterm vote, from their perspective, is about more than just electing people to office. All of it is overshadowed by what they see as an existential threat.
Making up stories about stolen elections, scaring the bejeebies out of people. It makes me feel very, very anxious and disappointed.
Outrage over the violence that followed the 2020 election changed little about the overall tone of U.S. politics. If anything, it's more charged. Threats against lawmakers have surged, and trust in democratic institutions is eroding. So much of it fueled by conspiracy theories and lies. The big lie that the 2020 election was stolen from Donald Trump looms large in Pennsylvania. More than half of the Republican candidates running in this state in this election cycle have either supported the lie or cast doubt about the election results. And this vote, this midterm vote, will be the first and most significant test of how electoral systems stand up to that big lie.
And we saw what happens when seeds of doubt are sown. We saw a violent, deadly attack on our nation's capital on the 6th of January.
Representative Joanne McClinton is the leader of the Democrats in the Pennsylvania State House.
We have to tell people the truth, and most importantly, the folks who are perpetuating the nonsense, the madness, even suggesting that there are irregularities, they must stop it.
The forces behind 2020 fraud claims show no signs of backing down, especially since the claims still help draw thousands of people to rallies.
It wasn't a free, fair election in the United States, by far. And the legislation people do not want to look into that at all. They turn their head the other way. They know damn well that this country and this election was stolen in 2020.
Conspiracy theories about January 6th are used to dismiss criticism.
I do think that there was infiltrated too. There is Black Lives Matter, there's Antifa, and I saw about 20 people all walk in with a freshly worn MAGA hat, and I don't think they were one of us.
Trump greatness already won the election! Why do we have to wait?
And even though so much of this hinges on election fraud claims, some are advocating for it.
If Russian collusion to make President Trump won the 2016, I wanted him to do it again. I want Putin to interfere with the election and bring Trump back again.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 45th President of the United States, President Donald J. Trump.
Donald Trump is harnessing this energy to galvanize his base ahead of Tuesday's vote.
They said Trump was 100% right. The election was rigged and stolen, and we're not going to let it happen again.
Republicans, including Senate hopeful Dr. Oz, accept glowing endorsements. And while he's not considered a hardcore election denier himself, he's comfortable sharing the same stage with one and supports further investigation of the 2020 vote.
I will bring change to Washington so they treat us the way we deserve. You all in?
Though in his own race, he's promising to accept the election results, whatever the outcome.
And if they vote for you, Oz, you can't lose.
But it may not matter if the leader of this movement doesn't, since this base of support listens to him.
Katie, Democrats and some Republicans are campaigning against election deniers, but is that message getting any traction?
Well, that's going to be the big question. Democrats have focused so much of their campaign on this argument. There is one thing that could really blow them out of the water, and that is the cost of living. Parents in this country are making choices between filling their gas tanks and going to work and feeding their children. And when that is the situation, it does not bode well for the party in power. Republicans are arguing that life was less expensive under the previous Republican administration, and that could be the most powerful argument that wins out over this vote. Ian.
Thanks, Katie.